Okay, I've never done this before because I did not want to show my face. So I'm looking raggedy as hell today. Um, but I wanted to do this specifically because I watched a video. Um, and I'm just going to look over to it right now. It's called The Anti-Asianness Within the Black Community. By Charlie Sheon. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but it was released over 4 days ago, and it's already got a hell of views on there. So hopefully, it's getting he's getting the word out to people. But yeah, I just want to go over a few things because I watched the video in its entirety. And I was previously aware of anti-Asian hate. I've been informed about it not too long ago. Like a lot was happening during 2020, like the height of the pandemic. And yes, whenever something like that happens to anybody, black, white, anybody, Asian, Hispanic, anyone, I want to do something about it. I want to make things better. So hopefully, and I'm not even sure exactly what I'm going to say. I just got on here and I was like, I need to show my face so you can at least know, hey, somebody is saying something in regards to this. And I wish, yeah, that's what I want to say. Like, I wish I was there. I watched a portion in the video where there was a young Asian lady and she was in the middle of a circle full of people, different, minorities. And then at the end of what she was saying, she was like, black people can be racist too. And I fully agree that. I've seen that because my personal business, but I've been in interracial relationships like the majority of my life. All boyfriends, white boyfriend, white exes. Okay, so I think I know a thing or two about somebody being racist, especially black people, because I've seen it firsthand. So I'm not going to make any excuses about that. And when I see things like that, like young people, especially young black people, trying to prevent that young lady from speaking about her experience and what she's going through, it's like, why are you doing this? Like, no one should be preventing her from telling the truth about what she's experiencing. I just don't understand. And he's correct. He said all day it's just nothing but, oh, minorities versus the whites, and you need to stop. It's oppression and the oppressor and this and that. And there's a huge divide in the media. That's just making it hard for this information to reach the top, because the media only cares about one thing, the narrative, which is black on minority specifically. Sorry, got that backwards. White on black crime, or white on minority crime, specifically black. And I do want to say I like reading the comment section. So I was looking at the comments and I scrolled down in the new comments, and I saw somebody post something that caught my eye. And this person basically goes into, like, if you want to post about anti-Asianness in the black community, then you need to talk about, blah, 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 what Asian businesses in the black community. And I know what they're talking about. Beauty supply stores. Usually, it's a Korean or Chinese or Asian business owner, and then you have like the African people who get the jobs there. Like, there's one right down the street. And it's like, I understand where you're coming from with that. And if there's anybody who's visited an Asian country and they have a negative experience, I've actually heard of Asian people who were born in America, so they're American by birth and by nationality, I would say, and they traveled to their homeland and they could not fit in. So I think that's really just a cultural thing. You know, I've heard during the pandemic they wouldn't let, I think, some African people into the restaurants because they were afraid they had COVID, which is, yeah, that's kind of racist. But that's, to me, this is personally my thought about it. It's like, it's an individual thing. Like, you, and another person had something good to say. They were like, uh, if you can't judge a single, I think they said you can't judge a group of people by what single individuals do, or judge single individuals by what a group does. In any case, you can't go around saying, oh, you're white, so you're bad, you're the oppressor, or you're black, so you can't be racist, or you're Asian, so you did this and that. No, you can't go around doing that. If you do that, you're gonna ruin yourself. It's not the right way to go about things. Sorry, I was not prepared at all for what I was going to say in this video, so it's probably going to be a whole mess, but I want to get my point across, which is, I was looking at this video, and I was looking at the comment section, and I just wanted to speak on, basically, I'm not a leader of a black community, but I'm black. So when people see me walking down the street, they're going to assume that, hey, you're part of that, you're part of the problem. I'm one of those who didn't know that it was, well, I knew it was bad during 2020, but I did not know it was still going on. And I do not inflict any harm on anybody unless you're coming at me and you're trying to kill me. So I'm one of those people that is like, I'm not one of those black people, but I'm black. So when you see my face, you're going to be like, oh, you're part of the problem. So I really want to say, I guess, to the black community who are doing this, and I think he said a lot of them are based in like California and San Francisco. I don't know how many more of you are around in different states, different countries, different cities. Let's keep it local, city-states in the U.S. But you can't keep doing this. I can't enforce your actions. I can't keep you from doing what you're doing. I can't keep you from inflicting hate on people just because of how they look and how you feel about them. But just like anything, if you think that you're free to go and say something nasty or do something nasty or hurtful to somebody, like, you really don't know that the pendulum is going to swing back the other way. And you think that, oh, just because I saw it in a movie once and they said all black people can't be racist because they're the oppressed and the oppressors are white people, you think in a couple years, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's going to be the same? It's not. Even if it took like longer than that, it's going to swing back the other way. And you're going to find yourself in the position of the person that you were pointing the finger at. And who's going to come and help you then? Who's going to come and help you? Who's going to come and tell that person not to hate you because of what you look like? I guarantee you it won't be you. So think about what you're doing. This is why I kind of wish I wasn't one of those cities that had these issues, because I'd be out there probably getting killed. I don't stand for this type of stuff, but yeah, I may make, no, not may, I'm going to put it on my list to make some more videos like this about these sort of topics, because they really need a bigger audience. And I'm going to link Charlie's video in my description box down below. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so I actually am going to do a part 2 to my video in reference to Charlie's video, anti-Asian hate within the black community. And I actually, because my mind was just like, I want to make a video, but I really don't know. I didn't plan it out, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to say, yada yada. So yeah, this is what I wanted to say. It's like for that comment, or to anyone who watches this video and they're like, what? No, that's not right. Whatever he's saying is not right. Do you know this and that, this and... You kind of want to reflect on yourself. And I guess as a community, like, think about, and I'm always doing that. I'm always leaving one thought process and then going to the next, but hopefully you can follow me. I was thinking, if you are thinking about things in the terms of, because racism is systemic. I believe, and this is my belief, that the only systemic thing about racism is the fact that it is perpetuated by, I think, 3 major branches, which is the government with the laws, the media, because they can get the word out, and the leaders, politicians, that can basically be the leaders for each group that it represents. So the only thing systemic, or something that keeps repeating basically down the line, are these 3 major factors. You don't want to watch his video and react in a way that you're just basically, like you said, don't react with hate. Don't react out of hatred to what he's saying, but because what he's speaking is the truth, what he's saying is the truth. You want to do some self-reflection. You want to realize that this is happening, and you need to understand the root cause of it. Because if you keep hating people back and forth, it's just going to keep going. So how do we solve this issue? Which is basically what he's saying. He's trying to get the information out to the leaders. But I see 3 major issues with this. Not what he wants to do, but 3 major issues that are perpetuating this whole situation. Perpetuating, that's my favorite word right now. But yeah, so it's those 3, the government, political leaders, and mainstream media. Because when you think about it, each group of people, whether they be put in the oppressor category or the oppressed category, from birth to when you're so old you need a walker, you have certain things within your community, not single individuals, but the black community, the white community, the Asian community, the Spanish community. You have certain things that are inherent to what you do, what you watch, who you aspire to be. And if you figure out what those things are, you can protect yourself from becoming part of the problem, or part of this hive mind category of people that just do whatever they are basically being told to do by these entities. So, like, if you think about the black community and this hate for the Asian community, think about how that's being created. And you got to think about what we watch. What do black people watch? Who do we want to be when we grow up? When I was little, I wanted to be like Beyonce. I wanted to have a body like her. I wanted to be in music videos like her. I wanted to be shaking my butt, blah, blah, blah. That's the problem, okay? So that's number 1. You've got the media, young boys, listen to rap artists. What do they watch? What's happening in the rap videos? Negativity. If you're growing up and you're looking at those, and those are your role models, that's problem number 1. And then you have the political leaders that you're voting for because they're black. Oh, vote for this guy. He's black, like you. But what's he going to do? What has he done? What has he done in the past? That's number 2. Then the third point is you have the government institutions. Look at the laws that are being passed. Go to the Congress website. This is something that you need to inform yourself. You need to start learning this. These aren't just boring pieces of paper. This is information in your hands. These laws might say something, they might sound good, but then you read into it, you understand what is actually happening, what they're actually going to start creating from this. And then you know whether or not, hey, is this going to be something that actually benefits me and my people, or is it just going to hinder us and hold us back and make us feel like what they're telling us? Because if you have laws that say, oh, you're black, or you make only this much money and you're black, and you can only pay for this, you can only stay in the ghetto, you can only do this, or you can do this and that, which was big, I think, years ago. Enforcement. I know for a fact that I don't know exactly when and how much and what the laws are, but there were laws that were passed so that, you know, black people couldn't be in different neighborhoods, and they couldn't make a certain amount of money, or they couldn't have access to certain properties, and white people could. Now, that is not the fault of the majority of white people or the majority of black people. It was just part of the legal structure, which enabled the reality, which then the reality that was caused by these laws were then perpetuated again by the media. And the media told you, whether you were in the oppressed category or the oppressor, they told you, hey, you're this, you're that, you're wonderful. Now go live in this big house. Here's some money, here's some this. Or you're ugly, you're worthless. You need to go down here, live in the ghetto, do this. And because they're telling you that, and the laws are set up like that, and the leaders of that day tell you to go and do this, you're going to keep, thinking, oh, this is my reality because I'm getting this information from here. This is coming from here, so it must make sense. But you have to break down what you're being fed. Like if somebody gave you a bowl of food and it was full of worms and stuff, would you eat it? If they told you, you eat that, that's going to make you strong. You're going to feel great. And it's stinking, it's smelling, it's rot. Are you going to believe them and eat it? Or are you going to do some research and say, stinks, looks unappetizing. I don't think I want this. I don't think I want to be fed this. So you have to use your brain. Even if you really trusted these institutions, you really wanted them to be on your side, you really wanted them to be your support system, you really wanted to trust them. It's time for you to trust yourself, to be strong enough to say, as an individual, I'm going to break out of this hive mind, this group mind, this collection of people who are just moving in accordance with what a media broadcast is telling me, or what this politician is going to promise me, because it's not panning out. Eventually, there's going to be a breakdown, and you're going to have to be strong and go off on your own as an individual and make it that way. You can't keep just following the herd. Herd mentality can only get you so far, and then you have to graduate into singular-minded thinking, which is the next step, basically in the evolution process, I think. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough, but you get my point. So that's really what I want to tell my people. Stop subscribing to these media that doesn't benefit you. If you're broke, you're smoking blunts and Black and Miles, and you're wondering why you're not smart. You don't have things that you want, like a car or a house. You can't pay your bills. You're living paycheck to paycheck. If you're wondering why, and this is, before COVID, after COVID, because not much has really changed. Prices are going up, and they're probably going to go higher, but I don't know. But my point is, if you're wondering why this is your life, you have to do some soul searching. Don't just keep doing the same thing. You know what the definition of insanity is? It's doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different response or a different result. So don't do that. Read, educate yourself. Don't do the same thing. Break away from what you have been doing. If you believe, in a higher power, pray on it. Ask God for some help. If you don't, research. Find the strength within yourself to break away, to to get educated on things that are actually going to benefit you in life. And when you do this, be prepared for hostility from people who are just used to you acting the same way that you always have, because they're going to sense this, they're going to see it, observe it, and they're not going to like it, because misery likes company. So what you have to do is you have to be strong, and you have to say, am I going to live the same way that I've always been living? And if you don't want to go down that road, you don't want to die that way, then you're going to have to put on your big girl or big boy pants and decide, or your big they them pants, and decide that you want to make your life better. And when you make your life better, you make other people's lives better around you. That positive energy will radiate from you, and you know, the negative people will go their way eventually. The positive ones will be drawn to you, and that's how it works. Yeah, basically that's a message I want to spread to my people. You know, because there's always going to be people in any color, any group that's hate-filled. There, like people said, that racism or prejudices, or people that just don't like you just because you look like this, or talk like this, or you act like this, or you're from this. They're always going to be around. But the way that it has been rallied up and fired up and brought to the top of the public consciousness, that is not naturally occurring. That has been stimulated by the media. Those fringe aspects of people that are like that, they're just that. They're fringe aspects. There are not that many people that should be hating people to this degree. So this is definitely something I think has been stimulated by our society's media and the politicians and the government and whoever else is behind there pulling the strings. As they say, divide and conquer. You know, that's what you have to do to control a society. I believe that's the truth. To my people, I've said my message. You've heard it. Take it with, no, take it. Don't take it with a grain of salt. Take it. Let it put it into your mind. You've heard my message. I have no more to say on that. To the Asian people who have experienced hate from my people, I'm so sorry. Best believe I'll do my best to make sure that if I see anything like this, I will stand up for anybody who it is affecting. Yes, that's what I'll do. Unfortunately, my life is pretty peaceful. I'm trying to put myself into situations that will actually get me into like dealing with this type of thing as much as I can, like trying to get into situations where I'm like, really, what am I trying to say? Like, you saw the video of the girl experiencing all those. I'm trying to get into those areas where people are having those types of conversations or conflicts, and be there to be a person that's standing up for people. In any case, that's my message to you. Anything else I wanted to say? I think that's it. See you on the next video.